Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the first episode of Kay and Min's podcast. My name is Kay, and this is my awesome co-host, Min. Say hi, Min.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Min. We're so excited to have you here with us today. Kay, can you believe it? We're finally starting our podcast.
I know, right? I've been dreaming about this moment since yesterday.
And I thought we've been planning this for months. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today, Kay?
Well, today's episode is all about starting your English journey. We know learning English can be scary, but don't worry. We're here to make it fun, easy, and a little bit silly.
That's right. We're going to share some tips, have a little chat, and maybe even learn a new word or two. But first, let's introduce ourselves a bit. Kay, you go first.
All right, I'm Kay. I've been speaking English for a long time. I love trying out new words, and I'm always up for a good laugh. Min, your turn.
Hi, I'm Min. I'm a little shy, but I love learning new things. English is my second language, so I know how hard it can be. But don't worry. If I can do it, so can you.
That's the spirit. Min. So, Min, what's the first tip for our listeners today?
Oh, first tip. I know. Tip 1. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay to say something wrong. That's how we learn.
Exactly. Like the time I said, I'm hungry, instead of I'm angry. My friends were like, do you need a snack, Kay?
Oh no, that's a funny one. And it's a good lesson. People will understand you, even if you make a mistake.
Totally. And here's tip 2. Practice every day. Even if it's just 5 minutes. Listen to English music, watch a movie, or hey, listen to this podcast.
Yes, you can even talk to yourself in English. It might sound silly, but it really helps.
Or if you have a pet, talk to them in English. They won't judge you. They just want treats.
Great idea. And for tip 3, have fun. Learning English doesn't have to be boring. Play games, sing songs, and don't forget to laugh at your mistakes.
Like the time I tried to say beach, but it came out. Well, let's just say it didn't sound like beach.
Oh no, that's a tricky one, Kay. But see, we're all learning together. And that's what this podcast is all about. Learning, laughing, and having fun.
Absolutely. So, Min, let's dive a little deeper. You mentioned that English is your second language. Can you share how you started learning?
Oh, sure. I started learning English when I was about 10. At first, it was really tough, especially with pronunciation. I remember being so embarrassed when I couldn't say certain words right. But with time and practice, I got better.
That's inspiring. Min, I think many of our listeners can relate to that. It's important to remember that everyone starts somewhere, right?
Absolutely. You just have to take it step by step. I also found it really helpful to watch English TV shows with subtitles. It helped me understand better.
Oh, that's a great tip. Speaking of TV shows, what's your favorite English show, Min?
Oh, I just love watching Friends. It's so funny, and the conversations are really casual, which makes it easier to understand. Plus, I've learned so many common phrases from it.
Friends is such a classic. I think a lot of people learned English from that show. It's filled with humor and real-life situations, so it's perfect for learning.
Absolutely. And for those of you listening, if you're looking for something fun to watch, give Friends a try. It's a great show to practice listening skills while enjoying the storyline.
Yes, and don't worry. If you don't understand every word at first, just keep watching, and you'll start picking up more and more.
That's so true, Kay. One of the best things about learning a new language is that the more you expose yourself to it, the easier it becomes.
Exactly. It's like exercising your brain. The more you do it, the stronger your language skills get.
You know, one of the best things about using TV shows like Friends to learn English is that the characters have very distinct personalities. For example, Joey is always making simple mistakes. So even native speakers can relate to that. It makes learners feel like, hey, it's okay if I mess up too.
Totally. And Ross, with his love of dinosaurs, teaches us that it's okay to have a unique passion. It's a great reminder that when learning a language, we can bring our own interests into the process.
Yes. And Monica is super organized, always planning and keeping things in check. For learners, it's a good tip to be organized too. Maybe set a daily or weekly goal for your English practice, like learning 5 new words a day.
Oh, I love that idea. Having a goal makes it easier to track progress. And speaking of goals, Min, what was your first goal when you started learning English?
I think my first goal was just to understand simple conversations. You know, like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions. What about you, Kay?
For me, it was understanding English songs. I love music, so I would listen to my favorite songs and try to figure out the lyrics. It was challenging, but so rewarding when I finally got it.
Music is such a great tool for language learning. You get to practice pronunciation, learn new vocabulary, and it's just fun.
Exactly. So, if any of you out there love music, try learning the lyrics to your favorite English songs. You might not understand every word at first, but that's okay. Just enjoy the process.
And speaking of music, do you remember the first English song you understood, Kay?
Oh, yes. It was Let It Be by the Beatles. The lyrics were simple, and I could sing along easily. What about you?
For me, it was Yesterday, also by the Beatles. I love how timeless their music is, and the message in that song really resonated with me.
The Beatles are a great choice, and they're proof that you don't need complicated words to create powerful messages. Simple language can be just as impactful.
I definitely. And that brings us to tip 4 for our listeners. Start with simple language. Don't worry about sounding perfect. Focus on making yourself understood.
Yes, even native speakers make mistakes or use simpler words when they're just chatting with friends. So, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Great point. We all make mistakes, and that's totally fine. As long as you're communicating and enjoying the process, you're on the right track.
Absolutely. So, let's recap today's tips before we wrap up. Min, do you want to start with the first one?
Sure. Tip 1. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, and they help you improve.
And tip 2. Practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is key.
Tip 3. Have fun. Whether you're watching TV shows, listening to music, or talking to yourself in English, make it enjoyable.
Tip 4. Start simple. Don't feel like you need to use big, complicated words right away. Focus on communicating clearly first.
Great tips. We hope you found today's episode helpful and that you're feeling motivated to keep practicing your English.
And remember, we're here to help you along the way, so don't give up. So, before we wrap up, let's teach our listeners a new word. What's today's word, Min?
How about adventure?
Perfect. Adventure means something exciting or unusual that you do, like learning English with us.
Yes. So, are you ready for an adventure? Let's say it together. Adventure.
Awesome. So that's it for today's episode. We hope you had fun and learned something new.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Practice every day and have fun.
We'll see you next time on Kay and Min's podcast. Bye.
Bye-bye. Keep smiling and keep learning.